Hi, this is Ken Angel from Learning and Development. One of the key elements of performance evaluations is checking your ratings to ensure that they're fair and accurate. In order to do that, I want to chat with you about rating bias and how you can overcome it when you're doing performance evaluations.
So, what is bias? Bias is an unfair prejudice against someone, something, or some group that most people would see as unfair. Let's take a look at the most common types of rating bias when it comes to performance evaluations. First, there is strictness or severity, halo effect, contrast, horns, similar or similarity, and leniency. Let's take a look at these one by one by starting with the halo effect. The halo effect results when you have an outsized opinion of somebody based on some sort of positive trait, and then using that positive trait to excuse other behavior and or actions that may seem contrary to this opinion. The opposite of the halo effect is the horns effect. This arises when you have an outsized negative opinion about an individual that then clouds your judgment about anything else that they do or contribute to your team. In addition, it is important to remember that the halo and horns biases are highly susceptible to the recency effect. The recency effect takes place when a supervisor looks at the most recent performance rather than judging the employee's performance throughout the entirety of a given rating cycle. Next, let's take a look at the contrast bias. The contrast bias arises when a supervisor compares an employee to their peers rather than against the established performance criteria. As a result, they'll give an average employee who has below average peers an above average rating. The strictness or severity bias results when supervisors use performance evaluations to focus solely on the negative, or they set unachievably high performance standards that results in their employees receiving deflated ratings. The similarity bias is exactly what you'd expect it to be. It is a bias whereby you see people that share things in common with you in a more favorable light than those who do not. Finally, there is the leniency bias. This bias happens when a supervisor tends to give everyone the same ratings. This is often done as a way to avoid hard conversations with poor performers. So in order to avoid those conversations, to give everyone a good rating. The problem is, your good employees know that, and it tends to demotivate them and can lead to higher turnover.
So now that you're aware of the common biases involved in performance evaluations, what can you do to guard yourself against this? First, be aware. By simply knowing that bias is a part of rating evaluations, you'll be able to recognize it in your work and change it if you find it there. Second, ask yourself, am I making this rating based on my assumptions, or am I making this rating based on actual behavior? If you're doing it on the behavior, then you're likely to avoid the most common biases. Third, check the language that you used during the performance evaluation. If the language is focused on their actual behavior and observed facts, then you're going to be fine. It's when you're getting into assumptions about their attitude or their emotional state that you're going to get yourself into some territory where bias will heavily impact what you write in there. Remember what Dragnet taught us. Stick to the facts. If you do that, you'll be able to avoid common rater bias in the work that you do. I hope you found this short video helpful. Good luck on your performance evaluations.